It's like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Need some grease. Oh, goodness. It's always a slow roll on these sorts of things.
Are you going YouTube or TikTok?
Go on YouTube. See who joins. Hello. What is up? How's everybody doing today? Hello. Sputnik. Glad everybody's here. Glad you're finding your way in. I've not gone live in a while, so hopefully this is fun. You know what we need some tunes. I almost forgot about the tunes. Let's see what we got here. Do you know how to solder? I can do a little bit of soldering. I'd like to say hi. My VR issue is resolved. That's good. I'm glad. We hate VR issues. Come back. Let's see. What do we need here? Here we go. It was Rec Room crashing my VR until the next day. Oh. Well, what was it that fixed it? When do you think the Quest 2 is going to be outdated? I mean, I think it's kind of outdated now. It's 5 years old. Not playing Rec Room. Oh, yeah, well, I guess that'll fix your problem then. Has everybody checked out my most recent video about the budget headsets? The headsets that you can get for under $100? You play Gorilla Tag? No way. Say it isn't so. Did try repair my one due to the age of Oculus 2. Ribbon snapped. Unfortunately, tricky stuff. Love the screwdriver set, though. Well, if you ever have troubles with it and you want us to take a look at it, you can always send it in to us. Dumb question, but has anyone felt that Software 774 has sucked on headsets? I think it only sucks if you're on a Quest 2. Because I've seen it on the 3 and the 3S, and the 3 and the 3S just don't seem to have as many issues with it. Do you ever repair a Quest 3S? Yeah, I've repaired a handful of them, actually. Probably about 10 or 20 now. Not as many, because they're new, but they do roll in. Or Quest Pro. Oh, yeah, I fixed a Quest Pro today, actually. You guys want to see the inside of a Quest Pro? Like what it looks like without all the stuff in it? This is a Quest Pro that I took the board out of. There was a couple things. The camera array comes out of here, and then the board comes out of here. But yeah, nasty looking. It's just bare. It's got 2 fans. Keep it extra cool. Huh. Anyway, the whole board. Is eye tracking really that expensive? No, not really.
Full body.
I have the Quest 3S and it's so awful. I sometimes experience where I have to use hand tracking because my controllers didn't want to connect or my menu doesn't close or open. That's weird. You should try factory resetting it and see if it's better. I don't have a 3S right here on my desk now, but if I did, I would definitely show you guys one. Was there not talk about eye tracking on the Quest 3? Eye tracking will never come on the Quest 3. It doesn't have the hardware for it. I mean, they may have talked about it at one time, like before it launched, but It's not. Oh, see, this is what happens when I get to talking. I'm like, what am I doing here? I don't even need to be over on this side. It's a broken camera on this side. What are you doing, Daniel? Hey, you fixed my Oculus. Is Gorilla Tag better than Skelly? I've not played either one, so I have no opinion. Can you try an index? We've repaired several indexes. I don't have one on my desk right now, though. You had a Quest 1? Yeah. I've had basically every headset that's at least commercially popular in any sort of way. I haven't had like the weird random ones. Like I've not had like some of the Windows mixed reality headsets. I was talking about there was an Acer headset that came out a while back that like was a big commercial failure. I don't have one of those. I don't have a big screen. I'd like to get a big screen just to test it out.
There was some news about that the other day.
Can you fix controllers for the Quest 2? Yeah, we fix controllers for the Quest 2 all the time. All the time. Do you know when the Quest 4 is coming out? I don't think that the Quest 4 is coming out this year. I'll tell you that. We're going to do a live stream or at least a show probably on Friday or Saturday. And my buddy Preston has some really exciting news to share about the world of Meta headsets and some of the things that they're releasing and talking about. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more in depth on this weekend. On Friday. We're going to talk about it on Friday. You guys probably won't get it until Saturday. Can you fix minds? It depends on how traumatized you are. I mean, sometimes I can talk people through their problems, but I wouldn't say that I can fix their minds. Remember when you accidentally flipped the camera around? Yeah, good times. Good times. How do you get stuff repaired through your shop? Oh, yeah, that's easy. You just go to our website, and you can either purchase or repair on our website, or you can send us a message. We have a submission form that's just right on our website on the repairs page, and you can just request a free shipping label and send it in that way. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, if you guys want the face reveal, you can just go watch my other videos, because I just posted a video on Saturday. It's like my top 5 picks for budget headsets. So if you're looking to get a VR headset and controllers for under $100, that's I put a video together so that you could kind of, see what your options were. So there's some pretty good headsets on that list. I'm a big fan of the G2 reverbs, but they're not going to be supported for much longer. And then like the Rift S is on that list, and it's a good headset. I mean, we had a couple decent headsets that I really like. There's a couple headsets it's like they're getting older and they don't work as well. Like the Oculus Go never worked great for like gaming, but it's out there if that's what you need it for. Where's my proximity sensor? There we go. I got a Quest Pro with a broken face tracking. How would I fix it? Man, that's tough. We've had a couple units come in here with bad face tracking, and there's so many sensors that control the face tracking. It's really hard to pinpoint exactly which one has failed. And in some cases, I've replaced like every sensor that is in charge of like face, eye, and mouth tracking, and it still doesn't work. So I don't have a good answer for you on that. The best answer is probably just to not buy one with broken face tracking, but I know that's not what you want to hear. Hey, I got a factory reset my headset because of storage. I have a Quest Pro controller connected. Should I reconnect the OG controllers before, or will it be fine? It'll be fine. It will be fine. As long as you got the app installed on your phone, just in case, then yeah, you'll be no problem. Well, this headset's dead. Put that off to the side for now. How much do faceplates cost? Like the Quest 2 faceplates? I think they're like maybe $8 or $9 on our website. They're not expensive. How do you know how to fix headsets? I've been doing it a long time. We've been doing this for, Preston, how long have we been doing this now?
4 years.
4 years. We've repaired a lot of devices. That is a T3, and I need a T5. There's D5. Can you make a warning for VR users saying if your VR crashes during a game of Rec Room, it may be a hacker crashing the headset? Well, I don't have any experience in that. I mean, it may or may not be true. There may be something else going on. Can you fix my Elite strap? The charging port is broken. I don't really work on the straps, to be honest with you. My recommendation usually is just to get a new strap. They're pretty inexpensive compared to the headsets and the controllers, so we just don't work on them. What are you fixing on this? Right now, I'm just killing time waiting for that headset to charge so I can test it. Let's see. The controller looks exactly like mine. Well, that's not good. If your controller looks like this, you probably need a repair. Sometimes these plastic parts like here get broken. It makes it really hard to take the battery component or the battery compartment off. This one has liquid damage. If I send my Quest 2 with very bad charger melts for you for parts, you can keep how much? I don't think it's worth that much. Right now, I think I pay about $30 for broken Quest 2s. That's kind of my going rate. I pay about $30 for broken Quest 2s and about $15 for controllers that are broken. So if it's in really good shape and there's nothing wrong with it, then we can haggle a little bit. But for the most part, that's what I'm buying them for. They don't have as much value anymore. I had a stroke? Or somebody else had a stroke? I saw your video on how to repair a battery in VR, but my question is, if there's another problem with your VR, when you replace the battery, what normally is it? Normally, the issues that people run into with battery replacements is either they damage one of the cable connections while they're unplugging things or trying to replug things back in, and then they'll get the headset all back together and turn it on, and they'll either have like a tracking issue or just not get any power at all. I mean, there's so many things that can happen because in order to do a battery replacement, basically everything's got to come out of the unit, right? So it's hard to say what could be screwed up, but the short answer is just about anything. It's just it's one of those jobs where you have to be really careful with what you're doing. All right, let's see if this is charging up now. Well, at least it's charging. It's not charging fast. What do you do before you finish the headset? I don't know. What do you mean, what do I do before you finish the headset? I do lots of things. Sometimes I eat lunch before I finish a headset. With the factory reset, would my Quest Pros connect or my Quest 2s? If you factory reset a headset, whatever controllers are paired with it will be the controllers that are paired with it when you turn the headset back on, because that data stays on the headset. The only data that gets wiped in the headset is like user data when you factory reset anyway. So you can do a deeper factory reset that does reset some things, but it's like a whole process, and it's like impossible to do it unless you know how to do it. How did you learn how to fix the headset? I've just been doing it a long time. We've been doing this for about 4 years now. We started to fix my Oculus in 2021, I think. It was shortly after the Quest 2 launched because we just got a lot of requests about doing it. We did some electronics repair in 2020 and then did some VR arcade stuff, and people just started bringing their headsets into us to fix. God, I wish this would start working. Turn on, you stupid thing. Come on. Oh, yes. Yes. Boot. Oh, no. I have to fix stick drift on my 3S. How would you fix it? I have a video on how to fix stick drift on the 3S. My recommendation is always the same across every platform for every Meta device. Replace the joystick. These are super inexpensive. You can get them on our website. If you need tools, you can get those on our website. But it's super inexpensive and it works every time, guaranteed. There's no chance that you're gonna, ruin the motherboard or something like that, as long as you do everything correctly. All right. Okay, cool. It's hard for you guys to see it, but we are tracking and everything's working. So we're going to go ahead and turn that headset off. Yo, my Quest 2 is stuck in pass-through mode, and it should not let me interact with any apps. Do you have any suggestions? You can try a hard reset or an update. You know, I would make sure that there's no updates that are available for your headset. If there are, go ahead and update your headset. You can do a hard reset by turning the headset all the way off, holding the power button down for about 40 seconds, and then letting it boot up normally. And if none of those things work, then you're kind of down to a factory reset. So almost every time that I see that with the pass-through thing or the Guardian stuff, like all that stuff is just like bugs in the caching system, and it's just the memory just basically needs to be manually wiped. It's sad but true. Sad but true. What's your opinion on the Quest 3S? I like the Quest 3S. I know the Quest 3S gets a lot of hate, but I have a long-standing tradition of taking the opinion that as a community, as a VR community, everybody that plays VR, likes VR, wants to support VR, we all need to be on board with the fact that there's going to be different price points for different quality products. And if we can get something that does almost everything that we want, with maybe a few exceptions at a lower price point, that means that more people can enter the community. I think for many years, and some of you guys may be too young to remember this, but, you know, back in like the 2010s, you know, in 2013 and 2014, and really all the way up through like 2017 or 2018, I would say there was like a good 5 or 6 year period there where VR as a concept was really gatekept, and not necessarily intentionally, but just because it was so expensive to get into. Like if you wanted a decent like PC VR setup, like you had to spend a lot of money, and there wasn't a standalone option. You know, that wasn't, standalone headsets weren't really a thing until like 2019 when the Quest 1 came out. I mean, there were a couple out there, I think. I don't want to sound like an idiot, but I do think that there were a couple models that were running around out there, but standalone was like the Oculus Go, you know, and it just didn't do that good of a job. And then we got the Quests, like the original Oculus Quest, and that was just, it was just such an industry shakeup, because you could, all of a sudden you could get into VR without a PC and play, you know, whatever was available, you know, on the Metastore at the time, or whatever was available on Steam if you had a computer. And that was just, it really shook the industry, and we're all kind of living in the wake of that. But everybody has these like funky demands about what they want to see in the next headset. I want OLEDs, I want 8K, I want face tracking, I want eye tracking, you know, I want it to massage my face and have a vegetable steamer. And I think that stuff's fine. I think it's great. I think that there are high-end headsets out there for those people. But on the low end, you know, we just need to be happy that there is accessibility in our industry. And we need to find a way to be happy for those people who maybe didn't have an opportunity to come into the industry before the 3S was available. Yeah, and if you want more features, get the 3. And if you want even more features with that, then go PC VR. Like, that's the nice thing about it, is that, you know, you're not just limited to one thing or 2 things or 3 things, you know. I mean, again, some of you guys may be too young to remember this, but, you know, for a long time there was this like the console wars between Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, and, you know, you're paying, you know, anywhere between $400 and $500 for a console, and then you're kind of locked into that console. And whatever their platform was and whatever their game library looked like. And if, you know, you were a PlayStation family, you were a PlayStation family. And if you were an Xbox family, you were an Xbox family. And there was all these exclusives and rights to certain games and characters and titles you couldn't get on one or the other. So, you know, you'd be hanging out with somebody, if you were a PlayStation person like my family was, you'd be hanging out with somebody that was a Xbox person or a Nintendo person. And like, you know, I never played Nintendo games growing up because we always had PlayStations, and it wasn't until I got to be an adult that those things kind of became accessible to me. So my family, we have a Nintendo Switch, an Xbox, PlayStation, and a headset. Yeah, but that's fairly new, you know? Like that didn't used to be the case. Like back in the 90s when I was growing up, it's like you had one console, like one family console. You had one computer, you had one console, you had one telephone, and those were the family like utilities. It was like having a fridge. And times have changed. So, and bringing it back around to the VR thing, it's like that's the beauty of having things like the 3 and the 3S and whatever Meta does come out with at the end of this year, which hopefully is a higher price point, better option model. And then there's things like the Samsung headset that's coming out towards the end of the year, and the Valve headset that's going to come out toward the end of the year. So we've got options, and it makes it a better world for us, because that means that those companies are all competing for us as users and trying to find ways to innovate and keep us on the platform. Heck, the 90s, all I had was a Super Nintendo and a PC. Right, I mean, exactly. My family had a Sega Genesis, and then I think in like 1997 or 1998, we got the PlayStation 1, or maybe the PlayStation 2. Maybe we got the PlayStation 1 in 96, and then the PlayStation 2, whenever that came out, I think that was 99. My history's a little fuzzy. It was like 30 years ago, so cut me some slack here. But yeah, we never had Nintendo. My family never had Xbox. We had one computer in the house until I was like a senior in high school, and then we got we got a laptop, and and now it's like everybody has a computer and everybody has a phone, and I didn't have a cell phone until I was like 18 years old. So fix my Oculus. I have something to tell you. Yeah, tell me. Remember Crash Bandicoot on the PlayStation? I played the crap out of Crash Bandicoot. I loved the Spyro games. The Spyro games were kind of my Spyro and Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal was my jam on PlayStation. And then, but yeah, played a lot of Crash Bandicoot. And Tomb Raider. Man, the Tomb Raider games. We were all up over those Tomb Raider games. I was stuck in Beat Saber for 3 hours. That's a long time to play Beat Saber. Same, I had my very first smartphone at 19. Yeah. That's us older folks showing our age, It's like my family's telephone, like until I was probably 11 or 12 years old, was a rotary phone, where you had to like dial the numbers like that. You had to pull your finger and 1, 2, 3. And if you knew somebody who had a lot of zeros in their phone number, you just didn't call that person. You let them call you, because I'm not dialing all those zeros. You have like 3 zeros in your number, Steve. I'm 32 and I feel old already. Yeah, I'll be 36 this year. So time flies when you're having fun, or something like that. I got off VR a couple minutes ago. Well, welcome to the party. 80s, baby. Yeah, which 80s? Were you talking late 80s, early 80s? I'm technically an 80s baby, but I feel like it barely counts because I was born in October of 89. Giving you guys a lot of personal information right now, by the way. Don't go stealing my identity. 88. Okay, yeah, you're right there. Preston's an 88. My business partner. You see him on the channel sometimes. Cool. That headset's ready to go. We're gonna put it in that box and see you next year. Hopefully not. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Let's see. Alex. Hold on, everybody. We gotta check some information here. Oh man, I see. Yeah, that's broken. That hurts to look at. Yeah. Well, you see, like sometimes people break their speaker arms, and then sometimes they just break the shells. So what I actually have to do on this headset is I need to get a different frame and replace that whole frame. It sucks for them. I was scrolling through lives and yours seemed to be the best I've come across. It feels calm and nostalgic here. Well, thank you, and welcome to the live stream. Don't forget to subscribe. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to subscribe. But if you wanted to, you know, there. Oh, that head strap's cracked too. Well, it's a good thing I'm replacing the frame. I'm going to go play a game right now, but I'm still going to be watching. Well, thank you for continuing to watch. I don't know how much you guys know about this, but you guys just being here and watching and contributing to the channel and asking the questions, it really does. It helps out a lot. So we're doing our best to, and I say this a lot on the channel and in the live streams specifically, but it means a lot to be able to do this for you guys. And, you know, like 3 years ago when I first started like making TikToks and Instagram reels and YouTube shorts, you know, it's just like, man, I wish people knew about this. Like, I wish I could just tell people that, you know, don't do this and do this, and, you know, don't try to do this with your headset. And if you're having problems with this, you can just do this. And then it was like, well, hell, I'll just start a TikTok channel and start an Instagram channel, and I'll tell people, you know, that'll be how I'll talk to people about it. And it's kind of blown up a little bit, just like recently too. Like we had like 2,000 subs on YouTube back in like September of last year, and now we have almost 40,000 subs, which is crazy to me. But it means a lot that you guys are here and supporting the channel. Dude, the dust on the Quest 3 makes it look ancient. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Quest 3s are over a year old now, about a year and a half old. They're getting to be older units. Do you fix different things? I mostly fix VR stuff. That's just kind of my thing. I like fixing VR stuff, and you know, I suppose I know a lot about it because I've been doing it for a while. So there's this like proclivity, I think. If you do something fairly well, if you feel like you're good at something, you just tend to gravitate toward that thing. We do fix other things. Preston, who works with me, he fixes a lot more things than I do. He does consoles and computers and laptops and drones and all sorts of other stuff. But I just like to do the VR stuff. That's just kind of my jam. The Quest Pro 2 will be fun to break down. Yeah, we'll see if we get a Quest Pro 2. They canceled it, and then we'll see if they change their minds. I'd be happy if they brought one, though. I'd love to see another high-end Meta headset, like really bringing their A game. Sorry, gotta go. No problem, Dogman Real. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully my Quest 3S never breaks. V74 already messed up the boundary stuff, so my right controller back faceplate completely scuffed and scratched. Yeah, I always say the same things over and over again. You know, take care of it. Keep it out of the sun. Keep it in a case if you can. Don't let any animals near it. You wouldn't believe how many speaker arms I've repaired because they got chewed up by dogs. Like, speaker arms getting chewed up by dogs is a real problem. So if you have animals, dogs specifically, you know, buy a nice case, invest in a case. Don't think of it as a purchase. Think of it as a safety security investment on behalf of yourself, your past self to your future self. I've got a mat now, so I don't hit stuff. Also take care of it. That's good. We have to take care of our things so they can take care of us. To be honest with you, I'm just that kind of person. Like, I've been driving the same car for 12 years because, you know, if you take care of things, they stick with you. I got scammed by somebody with a Quest 3S case and an Oculus 2. That sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Can I get a free shout out? Of course you can. Toe Tickler 2094 VR. Shouting out the Toe Tickler. I might send in my Quest 2 and Quest 3 this December or January of next year. Yeah, man. Just if you ever need anything, you can always reach us on our website. We have a live chat option during business hours, so 9 to 5 Central Time. You can reach out to us directly, and you can always email us, info@fixmyoculus.com. And, you know, we're here. We're here to help. So I try to reinforce that all the time. Like, I'm here because of you guys and because I want to be here helping you guys. So, or anybody that needs the help, I guess. So if you need help, we're here. Bro, thanks for how to clean the headset video. My controllers were busted up and they look nasty. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for watching it. The controller cleaning videos have not performed the best compared to some of my other videos, but it's good to know that they are getting some utility and people appreciate that kind of stuff. So, what are the best VR games? I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I barely play VR. Preston, what are the best VR games right now?
Top 3.
Top 3. Yeah, give me a top 3.
Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
Job Simulator.
Job Simulator.
And Super Hot.
And Super Hot. Preston's got jokes. I'm sorry for spamming. Oh, don't be sorry. It's
the
fine.
most popular one right now that's like a thing is Gorn 2.
Oh, Gorn 2. Yeah.
That's probably the most popular game right this second.
Yeah, I need to jump into that.
It's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I was tearing some heads off.
My own Quest 2 has a problem with battery life and charging it for gaming. Well, you can always get a battery replacement. That is a service, and we sell batteries on the website too. So if you need a battery and want to replace it yourself, that's an option. I want to donate, but I don't got no money. That's okay. You can just like and subscribe. That always helps us out. So you really want to do me a favor? Just like watch all my videos. No donations, no monetary donations required. I always bump into a wall while playing VR, and I always feel like I broke a depth sensor, but I didn't. Oh yeah, well, I'm gonna show you guys something here. I'm gonna show you guys how to fix one of these broken glass plates on this headset. This headset's just all banged up. It's got the bad frame, it's got the loose speaker arm, it's got the broken head strap thingy, it's got the broken glass. Like, what are we doing here? How are we treating our things this poorly? Hello. Gorilla Tags #1, animal. A turtle on VR says Gorilla Tag #1, Animal Company 2, Big Scary #3 off the Metastore. It kind of sounds like you just like meme games. You have to pick at least. These are the rules. If you're going to give a top 3, one of them has to be not a meme game.
That's true. Yeah, I agree with that.
If you only pick meme games, then it doesn't count. When do you go live? Whenever I have the time. Well, we do. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of inside baseball. We have a giveaway coming up. We're gonna start here probably this weekend. And once the giveaway goes live, I'll probably be live a lot. So, because that's just how it goes. So we can talk about the giveaway and talk about headsets, and it's just been really busy. We've been redesigning our website, so we've got a new website coming out soon. That'll be better. You know, you'll be able to find things easier and get a hold of us easier, and it just the whole 9 yards it just should be a lot easier for everybody. But we're also getting ready to launch a giveaway, and when that happens, I usually stream a lot more. So. What about Asgard's Wrath 2? Have you played Asgard's Wrath 2? Preston says he hasn't played Asgard's Wrath 2, so he has no opinion on it. No opinion. Bye, guys. I might message you guys later on the website. Yeah, hit me up. That is what I'm here for. Yo, what times are you open, available? For what? Like business? We're standard business hours. We're 9 to 5 Central Time. We're here kind of late tonight just because, you know, that's how it goes. Because I'm here with you guys. How can I fix my Quest 2? It keeps heating up and runs slow under load. You could look at a fan replacement. It's an option anyway. I'm not confident that it will help. The Quest 2s are just getting older, and they're just going to run slower. That's just the truth. Missed the first part of the stream. What was wrong with this? Oh yeah, this Quest 3 is all banged up. So we got this head strap retainer is cracked, and then this shell is cracked, and then we've got a crack on the glass here. So we've got a lot of work to do if I don't make a mess of it. Gosh, get out of my way, stuff. Mine works fine. That's good. I hope VR brings back the 3D movie hype. You know, me too. I'm totally on board with that. Where's James Cameron when you need him? James Cameron needs to come out with a VR Avatar movie. Someone get James Cameron on the phone.
We get him real quick.
Yep.
Yo, J Cam, it's P Ferg. What's up, man?
Preston's on the phone with James Cameron right now. Oh, thanks, Rose. I appreciate that. Hey, guys, I have a question about my VR. Yeah, hit me. Hit me with your best shot. Any tips on fixing black screen? I've tried all the published steps. Yeah, the published steps are wrong. They're not wrong necessarily, but the published steps, like what you're talking about, those are going to help resolve any sort of black screen or boot looping that's caused by a software-related issue. Most of the time, when I see black screen, it's a hardware-related thing. And so whether you're talking about the 3, the 2, or the 3S, effectively black screen is caused by one of 3 things primarily. So number 1 is one of your camera sensors is broken. So one of the outside cameras is either defective, or it's failed, or it's got a little bit of liquid in it, or it's damaged, like the one that I just repaired on the live stream a minute ago is cracked. That'll cause a black screen, and it causes a black screen because the headset operating system will not track the room if it cannot detect the room. Like if it can't see out of all 4 of its cameras, it won't track the room. And so it won't display an image because it won't track the room. Number 2 that we see a lot is the proximity sensor failure. So either the proximity sensor gets a little bit of liquid in it, or it becomes unlatched somehow, or it's like whatever, like something happens to the proximity sensor. And so you're getting a black screen because it doesn't detect the presence of your face when you hold the headset up. The way to differentiate between those 2 things is if you hear audio, it's probably a camera sensor. If you don't hear audio, it's probably a proximity sensor. The third thing is microphones. Microphones, if they get liquid damage in them or fail or are defective for whatever reason, because the microphones specifically on the Quest 2 are linked to the lower camera cables. They share a camera cable that connects to the motherboard. If those get a short in them, then it basically renders that whole cable inaccessible to the operating system, and again refuses to track the room. So if you're having the I can hear everything but I just can't see anything problem, then you're experiencing some sort of sensor failure or some sort of mic failure, like guaranteed. Hey, you got any idea how to fix the touch sensors on the Quest 3 controller index triggers? Because my hand spasms in some games. There's a couple things that are usually going on with it. So one thing that you have to know about the Quest controllers, that's the 2, the 3 controllers, the 3S controllers specifically, is that the trigger, the grip, and the side grip are Hall effect sensors. So on the motherboard here, let me see if I can find a trigger. Maybe not. I probably don't have one here. But I've got this motherboard. So this is actually the sensor. If I can grab my tweezers, this is actually the sensor that detects the presence of your trigger as it comes down and touches the motherboard. And then this is the sensor that detects the side grip as it swings in. These are both Hall effect sensors. So there's magnets on the trigger and on the side grip button that swing into position. If you're having problems with your trigger or your side grip, and it's not a mechanical issue like it's physically broken, chances are there's either some amount of liquid damage on one of those Hall effect sensors, or the Hall effect sensor is damaged in some other way. I have seen them crushed too. So like that happens sometimes, is sometimes people squeeze the trigger so hard that they literally just break it. And I mean, not that often, but it does happen. So yeah, the more you know. Re-add it nicely. Where are we at, everybody? How do I fix my internet connection? It doesn't want to connect to my internet, even though it's fine on my phone, and I play right beside my router. Kind of depends on what version of the operating system you're on, and what your router settings are. Sometimes the Meta headsets don't like to play nice with different frequencies. And different types of routers, depending on which version of the operating system you're on and which headset you're on, by the way, because the Quest 2, the 3, and the 3S all have different Wi-Fi chips. So the 3S actually has the most capable Wi-Fi chip. Preston, you remember the stats on that off the top of your head?
Which one?
The 3S Wi-Fi chips?
Wi-Fi 7.
Wi-Fi 7 for the 3S, and then the 3 can go up to Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, it can go
Yeah.
to Wi-Fi
Or 6E.
6E. Yeah,
6E.
sorry,
The 3 can do 6E, but the 3S can do 7. So depending on which headset you're on and which version of the operating system you're on, sometimes those headsets don't like to play nice with just every old router that your Windows machine or your phone can, because honestly the firmware and the software updates for your computers and your phones are just nicer and better. Meta just fumbles the bag a lot. You think you have Wi-Fi 5 or 6? Yeah, so if you're playing on a 3S or a 3, there's a chance that there's a discrepancy there. Can you swap the Wi-Fi antenna? Yeah, you can. We've looked at that, like what it would look like if we got like longer Wi-Fi antennas or different Wi-Fi antennas, but the bottleneck isn't the antenna, it's the chip. And that's kind of directly on the board, and those are a bit harder to access.
Okay, so it's only 6E.
The 3S is 6E?
Yeah.
Okay, the 3S is 6E as well.
Yeah.
Why did I think that it was 7?
Was it 7?
I thought it was as well. Can you show me the coolest part of the VR? This is the coolest part. What are you talking about? Maybe the motherboard's the coolest part? I don't know. I don't know what the coolest part is. What's the coolest part of the headset? Who am I to judge? That's the real question. Can you swap speakers? Yeah, technically, if you wanted to. The problem with these devices, because I was just having this conversation with somebody in a comment like this morning about Putt and Hall effect sensors or like potentiometer joysticks inside of the Quest 2 controllers. And part of the problem is that these units are designed in such a way where you can't really pack that much more into them, even if you tried. They're just so tight. There's no room. I mean, I'm going to pull this aluminum frame out and you're going to see the battery, and it's just like, it's smushed in there. Everything is just smushed and sandwiched on top of everything. It's like a electronics meta designed Mark Zuckerberg Italian sandwich. And it makes it hard to do upgrades and mods. It's not like a console or a PC where theoretically, if you're good at that kind of a thing, you can just swap stuff in there. Where did my chisel go? Meta likes to glue things, by the way. It's the number one thing that I see people, maybe not the number one thing, but it's high on the list of things that I see people mess up when they're doing self-repairs, because there's so much like glue and adhesive in some of these units. That's like totally unnecessary, by the way. What made you get into this type of work? Oh, yeah, it's a good question, actually. My buddy Preston and I, we've been friends since high school, and we've always been kind of entrepreneurial. I mean, we've known each other for almost 20 years now. It'll be 20 years next year that we've known each other. And we've been in all sorts of little small businesses and things that we've done together. We've done like marketing stuff, and we've done like real estate stuff, and we've done like videography, photography stuff, and music equipment rental, like just all sorts of stuff. And then in 2018, we bought a small like VR kiosk, and we turned that into an arcade. And then when COVID happened in 2020, our little arcade was having a hard time making ends meet. So we started doing like computer repair and tablet repair and cell phone repair, just to kind of like subsidize our revenue, because we just didn't have that many people coming in for the arcade, and which was tough, by the way. And then Meta launched the Quest 2, and their warranty was not good. It's like, if it's something defective, then they'll fix it. But if it's not their fault, if it's like the dog got a hold of it, or I left it out in the sun or something like that, Meta's really bad about replacing those things. And I know somebody in the comments is going to be like, well, they replaced mine. And like, yeah, sometimes you get lucky, but far and away, most of my customers are like, I was on Meta support for 6 hours and they just wouldn't help me at all. And I'm so glad that you guys exist. Anyway, so we started getting people who came into the arcade because they would buy these headsets from big box retailers like, Walmart and Target and Best Buy. And then, of course, the retailers don't want to do anything. So you just have these like sad kids and their parents coming into our arcade, like basically begging us if we would just take a look at it and try to figure out what was wrong. And we just kind of got pretty good at figuring out what was wrong because we had been doing VR arcade stuff for like a couple of years at that point. And the electronics repair too. And basically that just snowballed to where it was like, okay, we're doing like 5 or 10 of these a week. We should start like a website and see if other people need the help. And sure enough, people started reaching out to us online and sending their devices in. And then that was cool. And then I was talking about this a little bit earlier, but it was like, I was really looking for a way to like communicate with people about common things to look out for. Or like simple things that you can do at home. Because I don't want you to send your headset in to me if it's something that you can just like do at home. Like you don't need to send your headset into me so I can factory reset it. You can do that yourself. But there was like this like lack of information. Unless you just spent hours searching through forums and Reddit and Meta's forums and community posts and stuff like that. It's like nobody was really talking about real like troubleshooting, problem solving with the headsets. So I started the TikTok channel. And that's just kind of caught up underneath us and really just grown. The TikTok and the YouTube thing is just grown. And so now we're here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Have a good night. Yeah. See you, buddy. How'd you start fixing headsets? Oh, well, we just kind of went over that. I think you guys really found your calling. Not all here wear capes. Thanks, Rose. I appreciate it. It means a lot. How much time does it take to fix a headset? I would say most of my repairs are under an hour. It just depends on what's wrong with it. Some things are easier to access than others. Like, this particular repair, I gotta take everything out for this particular repair. Because I'm basically putting a new frame on this headset. I'm not even gonna worry about that. But here we go. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, time. Yeah, it just depends. Like camera replacements are quicker than speaker arm replacements, and battery replacements take an absurd amount of time to do in most cases because batteries have to be like, really tucked away in the headset for like weight balance issues. But yeah. New sub for you. Thanks. Bro is the J-Man Curly of fixing headsets. Well, thank you. When will you have Quest 3S parts? This weekend. We are launching a new website. I have some Quest 3S parts on the website right now, like the charging ports and some of the cameras and sensors and things like that. But we're launching a new website. We totally redesigned our website, and that's going live like this weekend. And we'll have a bunch of new services and a bunch of new parts, like things for the 3S, things for the Valve Index, things for the Sonys, so the PSVR2s. We just launched like a Sony PlayStation VR2 cable repair service recently, because that was something we got a lot of emails about. So we spent a lot of time working out how to do that. Yeah, just all sorts of things, cleanings and, lens refurbishments and lens replacements and just all sorts of things. So really what we tried to do is I just tried to listen to people, and just over the last few months, it's just been the feedback's been stacking up to a point where it's like, okay, our current website platform is not going to allow for us to do the things that we want to do. We've got to move on. And so we are. I'm trying to find a cheap Quest 3 to buy. Got any suggestions where to look? Facebook Marketplace or eBay. I mean, that's where I usually look. I mean, there's always a chance that you're going to have issues with those headsets because you just never know. They stripped this screw. How'd they even get in here to do that? Oh, that's so rude. What's the most difficult repair you've done? Oh, I don't know. I was working on a Quest Pro a couple weeks ago where the face tracking wasn't working. And man, I tell you, I replaced every single sensor on that Quest Pro to try to get the face tracking working, and it never worked. Like I just threw in the towel. I had been working on it. I probably worked on it for like 6 or 7 hours, and I could just not figure out what was going on with it. It was like a multi-component failure situation. Like the Quest Pros collect sweat in the bottom of the headset, like a lot of the headsets do, and it really just, oh no, we're gonna need a new charge port, guys. And so there was some sort of gigantic multi-component failure situation, but I could never pin it down. It was so tough, and it sucked up like a whole day of my life. Do what exactly you are doing right now. Thanks, Skit. So what are you doing exactly right now? Oh, well, we're trying to fix this Quest 3. So it's all in pieces right now, but you just got to trust the process. By the end of this, it'll be fixed. Quick question, what does the Quest 3 lens refurbishment mean? Yeah, so if your lenses are just kind of scratched a little bit and like the coating on the Quest 3 lenses has worn off because of glasses or something like that, like you don't have big indentations or anything like that in your lenses, usually I can refurbish them. And that means basically taking off the rest of the clear coat that sits on top of it, buffing out the lens, and then reapplying a gosh, I can't even think of the word right now. It's a blah blah blah. It's like a UV coating. I can't think of what I'm trying to say right now, but it's like a UV like coating, and we reapply that to the lenses so that you get these basically like factory new lenses. They're not factory new, but my customers have not been able to tell the difference. Nobody's been like, oh, these suck. Everybody seems really happy with it. So we did that for a couple customers and everybody seemed happy with it. Usually what we do is like people will send us inquiries about things, be like, oh, would you do this for me? And it's like, I don't know, we don't really do that. And like, oh, please, would you just try just for me? And it's like, okay, we'll try, but it's tough. I don't know. We'll do our best. And then if it works out and they're happy with it, then we kind of, okay, well, maybe that's something that we can do, and maybe something that people are interested in, and then we'll kind of soft roll it out and offer it to people who maybe need a similar service. But our business model is very organic. It's really just about listening to people and what they want and what they need. I know that's kind of corny, but it's really the truth. That's why we don't really sell like a lot of accessories or anything, because it's like there's so many people out there selling accessories. Like, and I'm not saying that people couldn't benefit from like us having accessories on our website and it being a one-stop shop, but there's so many people out there doing that, and there's nobody out there doing what we're doing. So you just lean into what you do. Is it possible to fix my charge port on my Elite strap? I don't really repair the straps, I'll be honest with you. And for no particular reason other than just like replacement straps tends to be pretty inexpensive. So it's just not something that we've ever done. I'm not willing to take a crack at it, like we were just talking about. Like, I mean, if you really wanted me to take a look at it, I could take a look at it. But just historically, like the cost of the labor on that is going to be probably more than what the strap costs, which is like what, $60 or $80. Is there a way for me to transfer my data to a different Meta account? No, not a different Meta account. You can transfer it to a different device, but you can't transfer it to a different account. We're having a real problem here, folks. This is a real crisis. They really stripped this screw. This was like this when I got in here, and I don't know how they did it. Oh, wait. I win again. Yes. Throw that away, though. Is there like 120 there scamming? In like 120 they're scamming? What? I don't know what you're talking about. My Quest 2 controllers broke and don't work anymore. They are damaged outside, but I think inside. Well, you can always send them in and we can take a look. What if I figure out a way to put it all on a flash drive? I mean, I just don't think that that's going to work. Just because those games are not like attached to your headset. They're downloaded on your headset, but those games are associated with your account. You know what I mean? The Elite strap costs like 120. Oh, wow. That is expensive. I didn't realize they cost that much. Maybe I should fix them. That sucks. If one of those breaks on you. Yo, I like your videos, and I wish I could send my Quest 3 in for lens replacement because I wiped them with paper towels, but I can't because I'm a border hopper. I live in Mexico. Oh, well, we do have international customers. I mean, people do send their headsets in from Mexico and Canada sometimes. I mean, I've received headsets from Australia. I've received headsets from England. So you can always reach out to us, and we can at least try to calculate the cost of shipping for you. You know, we're here to help. And that's it. That's the shelf frame. And now that goes in the trash. How much does it cost to repair an Oculus Quest 2 controller with stick drift? I think it's $35 on our website if you buy it on our website. So for any stick drift on any controller. Oh, you're talented fixing these new tech stuff. Thank you. You know, I'm waiting for a VR headset with a Ryzen 5 500 series processor in it, which is never going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Although I have high hopes that the Samsung headset that's coming out later this year is going to be pretty beastie. I'm really hoping anyway. We'll see. Maybe it'll just be a cell phone inside of a headset like their last one, but hopefully it's really nice. Because that's what we need in the community. We need different price points that are accessible to different people. We don't have really a good like mid-level headset. You kind of either buy the meta stuff like 500 or less, or you buy like the really high-end stuff like 1500 or more. So I would love it. Yeah, there's Samsung and Google. They're doing a partnership. I can't remember. It was the Google XR. I don't remember what the name of the headset was, but they are launching a new headset together. So it's exciting stuff. Do you have any tricks for bad tracking for the 3S? I feel like I've tried all the tricks and it came. I've been working on something. We don't have it ready yet, but I think when we launch the new website here in like a week or so, we'll hopefully be ready to roll that out. There is a way to improve the tracking for the controllers on the Quest 3S and the Quest 3. It's kind of a mod, but I think most people will be able to do it. So if you're not subscribed and don't have a notification bell turned on, do that, because I'll probably drop a video about it when I do that, because that's another complaint that I hear all the time, people talking about the tracking on those controllers, especially for the 3S. So I also think the new Samsung VR headset is going to have AI like Meta AI. Hopefully. I mean, we're at a point now where pretty much everything's going to have built-in AI. I mean, the new Apple phones have built-in AI. Everything's just going to have AI built in. That's just the way of the world now. Come here, you. What are you doing to me? My screwdriver's like lost its magnetism. I sent in a Quest 3 that I think was damaged from sweat. I started wearing a swim cap while in my VR to protect my other headsets. Oh no. Well, we'll definitely take a look at it if you send it in and let you know. Gorilla Tag or Beat Saber? Beat Saber. Beat Saber is a classic. Do you know what a Google Cardboard is? Yeah, I do. It's kind of retro now. It used to be kind of popular. I mean, there was a period of time there where if you told people like, yeah, I play VR, that's what they thought of. They were like, oh, like the Google Cardboard thing. You're like, no, not like the Google Cardboard thing, but thanks anyway. How powerful will it be? The new Samsung headset? I have no idea. I don't have those facts and figures memorized. I imagine it's probably going to be pretty beasty. At least I hope it's going to be pretty beasty. They almost have to compete with Meta. So here's the thing: is like Samsung is partnering with Google, and Android basically because Google owns Android, and they've got their own thing going. And it looks like if you guys didn't see the news recently, Meta is partnering with Microsoft. So a little bit of inside baseball for you guys if you guys aren't like on the up and up on this. Meta's been working on their like Microsoft like Xbox integration stuff for a while. The Xbox Gaming Pass that you can do on the headsets, and I think that they're going to partner up on a VR device. And I've been saying this for like basically since the last Meta Connect. Like I don't think that we're going to get a Quest 4 this year. I would be surprised if we ever get a Quest 4. I think that the next like headset that Meta comes out with is going to be like the Meta X or the Oculus X or the Quest X or something like that. It's going to be this like Xbox Quest like partner thing, and hopefully it's super super cool. So, because I would love to see Microsoft and Xbox lean harder into VR content. It'd be great for our. I did it again. It'd be great for our industry. When was the 3S released? It was released last October. If your VR headset gets water damage, can you put it in rice? You can, but it's just like any other electronic. Whether or not the rice helps depends on the severity of the liquid damage. So it may help or it may not help. If Meta and Microsoft collab, we're going to get a bunch of games, maybe even Steam. That's what I'm hoping for too. But it makes you wonder, right? Because like Steam and Microsoft are partnering up, right? And they're making a console together. And then Steam has the new Valve headset coming out. So what is Meta going to do with Microsoft? What does that partnership look like, right? Because Microsoft has their hands in like every cookie jar at this point. It's just weird. How hard is it to change the charge port on the Quest 3? This repair that I'm doing right now, that's about how much work it would take. The charge port on the Quest 3 is located inside the speaker arm, so basically everything has to come out. It's not an easy job if you're not familiar with this kind of stuff. You can do it. I mean, I would tell anybody, I don't like to discourage DIY repairs. So, if you think you can do it, just go for it. But on the scale of 1 to 10, this level of a repair on the Quest 3 is probably an 8 for most people. Probably an 8. No, wait, really? That could mean a lot that Meta is partnering with Microsoft. There's a slight possibility there could be an Xbox VR headset. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that the next headset from Meta is going to be a Quest 4. I think it's going to be like a Quest X or the Xbox Quest or the X Quest or something like that. Like, it's going to be something cool. At least I hope it's something cool. Do you know how to clean a USB port? Yeah. Toothbrush and isopropyl alcohol. Unless you got like actual physical stuff in there. If you're just trying to clean it, isopropyl alcohol, 99%. I always like to test these joints before I move on. Pro tip, test things as you go, because otherwise you get to the end of the road and things don't work, and then you're really unhappy because you're having to tear the whole thing back apart again. What do you recommend to fix a Quest 2 controller ring? Mine broke a week ago. We have parts on our website, and I have tutorial videos. So if you're curious about repairing that yourself, you can check out my tutorial videos. If you're just wanting to have it repaired for you, then you can shoot us an email on our website, and we can do that too. How easy is it to mess up your Meta Quest 3 sensors on the controller? I don't know. 5 out of 10. Like, you just got to be careful with it, like anything else. Liquid damage is what usually gets them, or people jamming sticks up there where they don't belong. That gets you too. Do you guys only repair VR devices? We do some console repair, but myself, I only do VR devices because that's just what I like to do. So we have different technicians within our business, and we focus on different things. So, long answer. You have great content. Thank you, Pitch Void. I appreciate that. If you guys are new here, I did just post a new video on Saturday about 5 budget headset options. So if you don't have a VR headset, or your VR headset breaks and you're looking to get into VR or get back into VR and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, there are VR headsets right now that you can buy for like 75, 85 bucks at like decent VR headsets like the Rift S. Like Rift S's, I've seen Quest 2s, G2 Reverbs, like going for like less than 100 bucks. So I did a video on that on Saturday. So if you guys are curious about budget VR headsets, you're looking to upgrade, you're looking to get into VR, it's a pretty good, that might be a good starting spot for you. I love your vids. Thank you, Kevin. Nice. Not only metas. Yeah. There are headsets on the list that are not metas. I've got one that's a HTC headset. I've got one that's an HP headset. Of course, Meta has like most of the budget-friendly options, but I tried to throw some things in there that weren't Meta stuff, because that's what everybody goes to when they think about, affordable VR options. Hello, what's up, Frosty VR Grab? How do you connect to the MetaQuest Pro controllers to your Quest 3? Through the app. You just go into the app and go to select. You go into your device and you go to settings and you go to devices and pair new controllers, and then you'll unpair your current controllers and then you'll repair the Quest Pro controllers. Footnote about this, little asterisk here: you cannot pair Quest Pro controllers to the Quest 3S. Only the 2, the 3, and the Pro. The 3S does not allow for it. So if you're sitting there with your 3S and your Quest Pro controllers and you're like, why won't they pair? That's why. So you're putting it back together now? Yep, that's what we're doing. We're putting it back together. You can slowly watch it take shape. Here, I'm going to move you guys down a little bit. Blade and Sorcery or Battle Talent? Blade and Sorcery all day. I'm a diehard Blade and Sorcery fan. I don't play it anymore. I used to play it all the time, but when Blade and Sorcery was in like version like 7 and 8, man, I loved running mods on Blade and Sorcery. Loved it. What are you working on? Well, we were kind of replacing the frame on this Quest 3. So, but now we're not. Now we're just putting it back together. The hard part's over. Branchlings or Monkey Madness? I've not played either one of those games. How much is the Quest 3S? They're $299, but I think they're like on sale right now, because I was looking at it the other day and they were only like $269. So if you're looking to get a Quest 3S, right now is a pretty good time to go buy one. I've been playing VR for 4 years, and this seems really interesting to me. I would love to fix a VR myself. Well, I appreciate you being here and saying that. You can always check out my channel. I've got lots of videos on how to do all sorts of repairs. So if you want to learn how to do repairs, you can just subscribe to the channel and, learn at your own pace. Do you play Animal Company? If not, you need to try it. I could show you how to play it. I don't play Animal Company. I don't play a whole lot of games. At least not recently. I used to play a lot of video games, and recently we've been really busy. That's kind of what happens, I guess, when you start a business, is your time just gets eaten up with all sorts of things. And the content creation, I try to get out at least 3 or 4 videos a week. So a lot of those are shorts, but I try to get out at least 3 or 4 videos a week on YouTube and TikTok. And that takes up a lot of my time as well. In your opinion, what is your favorite VR? Um, gosh, that's a hard question. Kind of depends on the context here. I think the Quest 3 is probably the best bang for the buck. Like, it's my daily driver, right? Everybody's got a daily driver. And the Quest 3 just does so much with so little. Um, if you had asked me like 3 years ago, it was the Valve Index. I loved the Valve Index. I played on the Valve Index all the time. And then I kind of went to the Quest 3 just because it was so easy. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I need to make a video on that. Like, what's the actual best headset on the market right now? Because everybody thinks about like the weight or the processing capability or the optics or the lenses or the controllers, but it's like who's meeting all of those things in the middle? Um, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. My daily driver is a Quest 3. That's probably the best answer that I can give you right now. I've tried going live talking about the content, but I barely got any views. But you have like 60 right now. How do you do this? Some of it's consistency. I think I've been doing live streams for like 2.5, 3 years now, and I don't do it as consistently as I wish I did, to be honest with you. And then part of it's the content, I think, and just what you're talking about and how you're talking to people and engaging. I think for me, the reason that I do this is because I want other people to know things. Like it comes from a place of like, I was just telling this story earlier. Like when I first started making TikTok videos, it was like, man, I wish I just had a way to tell people like how to factory reset their device. I wish I just had a way to tell people how to like set their controllers up. I wish I just had a way to tell people blah, 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 blah. And that turned into content. And it's just been kind of like, again, that's just what the live streams are. People jump in, they ask questions, we talk about it, and everybody gets a little something out of it, which I love. Can you please tell me how to replace my left controller strap on a Quest 2 or a Quest 3? Because that makes a difference. I mean, you really just slide it in there, so it doesn't make that much of a difference, but it does make a little bit of a difference because they slide in and out differently. You got to take the battery compartment off and then slide the little toggle thing for the controller in. So what if I hypothetically one eye lens, whenever you turn your headset on, it's white, and the other one you can see perfectly? It depends. Are we talking about a Quest 2 or a Quest 3 or a Quest 1, or what are we talking about? Because if you're talking about a single panel LCD with one eye, then it's probably a motherboard issue. If you're talking about a dual LCD or dual OLED, like what the Quest 1 and the Quest 3 have, then it probably is an LCD problem. I mean, not all the time, but a lot of the time. How expensive are the MetaQuest 3 controllers? I think they're $75 a piece, 75 or $80 a piece. I couldn't tell you exactly, but they're in that range. Somebody else asked a question and I missed it. The thermal pierce I have currently, but want to know if you recommend something else. What thermal paste would you recommend for the Quest 2? The Quest 2 actually uses like these little thermal pads. It's not really thermal paste. It's like these little thermal pads. So you don't have to use anything crazy fancy. I just got these off Amazon, and they're just little like heatsink thermal pads, and that's all you need. You do not need anything crazy for the Quest 2. I mean, I'm sure that you could use something really crazy for the Quest 2. Like, I have like this like thermal grizzly stuff, but I've not done enough research on it to see whether or not it actually helps that much to increase the, I guess the niceness of the quality. That's the word I was looking for. The quality of the thermal paste. If the quality of the thermal paste goes up, is it really that much of a return? Yes, no, I don't know. I just don't know. What's your favorite game? I mean, probably Blade and Sorcery. That's probably the game that I play the most when I do play. But I don't play a whole lot, to be honest with you. I'm too busy fixing headsets. This seems like such a hard thing to learn and master. How many VRs have actually broke since this is insane work? We as a team, we probably repair about somewhere between, it depends on the month, but somewhere between 800 and 1,000 headsets and controllers a month. It's about 150 to 200 a week. So it's a lot. We get a lot in. And they come in from all over the country. You know, I mean, people mail these into us from California and Texas and New York, and we'll get some international ones sometimes. I've had headsets from Australia and England and Mexico and Canada. It's just, it's a constant inundation. But yeah, I've been doing this really since the Quest 2 came out. And I was doing electronics repair before that. So just kind of, it does take time. It does take time. I got to grab a glass plate, and then I'll be right back. Unless that's one. No. You know, I kind of like elevator music, to be honest with you. It's chill. I've always kind of liked elevator music. So if you guys ever break your front glass on the Quest 3s, you can just get replacement front glass. And this doesn't usually damage your sensors, by the way. Sometimes it will damage your depth sensor, like the one in the middle. But most of the time, if you break your glass, you can literally just like take the glass out and just replace it and just be good as new. So that's what I'm going to do here. I mean, this is really quick, by the way. I feel like I did a video on this recently, but maybe I didn't publish that video. Maybe I need to work on that. It's hard for me to keep up with how many videos I do. Do you like jazz music? Do you like jazz? Yeah, I like jazz music. We're just going to dust this out a little bit. You can see where they chipped and cracked this. And then you get your new glass here. And we're just going to peel that off. Good as new. I had stick drift on my Quest 2 controller. I pushed the stick down, blew air into it, and fixed it straight away. Yeah, that's lucky. Have you ever played Bone Lab? I played Bone Lab when it like first came out, like a long time ago. I've not played it in a long, long time. All right. We're almost ready to rock and roll here, people. Once we get to this stage, we can test things. So I can go ahead and plug this in. And we'll plug this in. I see a lot of people mess this up. You just kind of have to be delicate with it. A lot of people, like, they're not sure and they're not aligned. And then they force the thing down and they break the latch. And it's like, oh, well, now you need a board repair. All right. Oh, it's blinking red. Oh, no. No. Go ahead and put a couple things in here while we're waiting. I may or may not get a chance to test this in front of you guys. I may just have to kind of put this together and call it a day. How much does it cost to fix tracking drift on a Quest 2? If you're talking about joystick drift, it's about $35 to send it into us and have us fix it. If you're talking about like a headset issue, then that's usually more. But like camera repair is like 80 bucks or 75 bucks on our website. Don't quote me on that because sometimes the prices fluctuate and I'm not always paying attention. But it's just hard to memorize all those things. We have so many things that we do. Is there a manufacturer that makes batteries for the Quest 1 or Quest Pro controllers? I haven't been able to find anything. No. If you reach out to us, I could probably find some. I know that I have some torn down batteries from Quest Pros and Quest Pro controllers and Quest 1s around, but I don't usually have a lot of them, so they're not worth stocking on the website. But you can always reach out to us. If you have like a weird parts request, you see something or need something that's not on the website, you can always just hit us up. All right. Well, at least I got the LCDs plugged in right. Do you fix other things or consoles? I don't. I usually focus just on the VR stuff, but my business partner does fix consoles. So if console repair is what you need, then you could just send us an email and we'll transfer you to him so that he can help you out because that's his jam. 4 stages: the paper prototype, the azalea alpha, the bark beta, and the flakewood final. I'm not sure what that means, but I appreciate your input. What does the depth sensor look like? It's a good question. I don't have one. Sometimes I have one running around on my desk, but I don't right now. They're shiny. They look like little mirrors almost. Yeah, I don't have one right now. Oh, maybe I do. That's it. That's your depth sensor on your Quest 3. That's what it looks like when you pull it out. It's kind of a combination of things. This is the emitter portion, and then there's the receiver portion, which is this part. So this part emits infrared light, and then your receiver for the infrared light so that it can scan that room is right there. Yeah. What do you think about V76? I've not had a chance to jump into it yet, but I've heard there's a lot of new features. I've got a mystical video in my watch later queue that I'll probably watch later when I get home. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, he covers things really well. I always enjoy mystical. So I was watching, who was I watching the other day? Tentric. He's got a good VR channel. He doesn't have nearly enough subscribers. He did a breakdown of Meta's recent conference that they did, their little Zoom call thing. And I didn't even bother watching the Zoom call thing because his breakdown on it was so good. So if you guys haven't checked out Tentric's channel, he does some good VR coverage. Give him some love. It's not sponsored or anything. He just seems like a really cool guy. And Disco VR. If you guys don't follow Disco VR, she's cool. She's a cool girl too. We like her a lot. When did you start learning how to fix these things? And when did you start fixing stuff? We started fixing these things in about 2021. But electronics repair is one of those things you start doing it as a kid, and I've been fixing things for a long time. So, but professionally repairing VRs for 4 years. Hi, Devin, and hi, Mochi. Is it Mochi or Moki? I assume it's Mochi. Do you have a VR? I have lots of VRs. I have all of the VRs. How's it going? It's going good. We're just getting ready to wrap up this Quest 3 repair. You guys made it just in time to watch me test it. What's your go-to game? Probably Blade and Sorcery. I used to love this little indie game called Skyfront, and they don't support Skyfront anymore. It's not a game anymore. But I used to love Skyfront. I like Elven Assassin. Elven Assassin's a lot of fun. I'm a big bow and arrow game guy. Zero Caliber is fun. I don't know, but go-to is probably Blade and Sorcery. That's my decompression jam. Let's see here. We're almost home, guys. I don't know about you guys where you're at, but for me, it's raining here. So I'm not looking forward to going outside when this live stream ends. Here we go. Yay. Boot up. Sweet. Make sure the audio works. There we go. Cool. That's it. That's your Quest 3 frame and speaker arm repair. I hope everybody learned a lot. Because I'm not doing it again. That's your only one. You only get one. Okay, got one more screw here. When the metal logo spins, it reminds me of a Pringle chip. Yeah, I kind of get that. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Have you ever worked 72 hours at one time? It's been a long time since I did something like that. But when I was young, I was in the Marine Corps. And so, I mean, you would work days at a time. And then when I got done being in the Marine Corps, I worked in aviation for a while. And you worked days at a time doing that too. So answer your question, yes. It's just, I'm just too old for that now. I'm an old man. I need my sleep. Imagine bro hits the battery. Yeah, imagine. Gosh, that'd be a travesty. The battery's pretty hard to hit from this angle. It's tucked up underneath there. What's wrong with this Quest 3? Well, nothing now. We just fixed it. You guys are catching the tail end of this. But we're going to put these screws back in to secure the faceplate down and make sure that everything is nice and snug. And then this customer is ready to go back home. It's always a good feeling, like when a repair goes well, you know? And it's like there's no surprises. You just get it figured out, and you can just put the headset back together. And because sometimes there are hiccups, you know, sometimes there's unexpected things. Is somebody will send you a headset because the screen's not working, and you get in there and it's like, oh, this has liquid damage or something. Do you have a 3D printer, and do you think you would be able to 3D print replacement parts in the future? I don't have a 3D printer. I'm sure you could. I'm sure you could 3D print parts. It's just not like, it's not something I've really dived into. Dove into? I've not dove into it. I've not dived into it. I think it's dived. I've not dived into it. I've done no diving into the 3D printing realm. Let's just say that. And, but yeah, I'm sure it's possible. You know, if you were really talented, especially on the design level, you know, if you could, it's not the printing part that's hard. The printing part seems like it's the easy part. From what I understand, it's the design part that is the hard part, because especially on devices like this, the measurements have to be exact. And for things like these little screw holes that hold things in place, I mean, it's got to be, you know, it's got to be on the nose in order for it to work right. You can't kind of guess. And I think that probably adds a layer of complexity to it and kind of prevents people from jumping into it. Not that I've not seen some VR like 3D printed replacement parts out there. I just don't think there's a whole lot of people doing it. And the other thing too that you got to think about is, like, you know, money drives the industry. So how much money is there in it? If the answer is not that much, if the answer is the demand is just not that high, then nobody's going to spend the effort and the time to do it. So, but that's it, guys. That's our Quest 3 repair. We replaced the shell frame on this, and thank goodness we did, because it was in bad shape when it got here. And then we replaced the little glass panel on the inside too. I'll make this live stream public, so if you missed part of it and you really wanted to watch the repair or watch the teardown, you guys can always do that after I upload it, re-upload it, I guess. 'Cause sometimes that takes a while, especially with these longer streams. The nose on this is just like ever so slightly broken. Go on. Anyway. But that's it. Yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. I love having the company while I'm doing these repairs. And I don't live stream nearly as much as I used to, and I apologize for that. It used to be like a daily thing. Like I would go months where I just live streamed every day. And I feel like recently it's just the business has been growing and we have like staff here, and it's been harder and harder to do as time's gone on. But hopefully so to give you guys a little bit of inside knowledge here, we are going to be launching another giveaway soon. And when that giveaway goes live, I'll probably be going live a lot. So just to, you know, talk to people about the giveaway and talk to people about Quest stuff. So when we launch the giveaway, expect to see more of me. And if you're not subscribed and you haven't checked out all the videos and the shorts, I've got some out there that seem to be very popular right now. So that's always nice. It's always nice when people enjoy the content and are learning stuff, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to educate so that people can take better care of their VR headsets and understand how to fix them. So, but with that, that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we will see you guys on the next one.